What is going on, everybody, on my Facebook, on my YouTube, anybody that is watching? What we are going to do today is I'm going to talk about what to do when you're multi talented, multi interested, lost in the passion search. You're not sure exactly what to do or what to go for, what's going to be fulfilling for you. So, we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I'm going to actually share some of my story today because I think it's really relevant and I think it'll help a lot of you because searching for my passion was like something that I was always personally tied to in my life, just ever since I can remember when I was younger. The first time somebody asked me, "What do you want to do with your life?" I was like, you know, that's a good fucking question. Um, And ever since then, I've just been on the prowl for it. I don't know how else to describe it. I was hunting for my passion like I was starving for it. Ever since that moment, I think I was probably 5 or 6 years old. And ever since then, and up until about maybe 5 years ago, I don't know, something like that. I don't know the exact year, date, and time that I found my passion. But up until about that point, I was just searching relentlessly, like trying thing after thing after thing. I eventually thought something was wrong with me, but I eventually did find it, and I'm going to go over how exactly I did that today. So if you are here, buckle in a little bit. I'm going to be sharing my personal story here. And how I bounced around to endless different interests, never finding what I wanted to do until finally finding what I wanted to do. And it wasn't that magical. I'm going to talk about this process a lot, probably on this live. Hold on a second. I'm just getting the comments up here so that I can interact with people when they join. You might hear me talking in the background a little bit because I'm opening the videos. Okay. And I don't honestly, I don't know how well I'm going to be able to reply to any comments if there are any, because I've got some material here that I'm reminding myself. I don't remember everything that well when I'm going over content, even when it's up my own story. Probably I'm going to be fine. But I do have some just bullets here to help me remember some stuff. Okay, cool. Okay, so the deal with me was throughout kind of grade school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. All I knew was that I really wanted to impact people in a big way. And I sort of built up this fantasy that I would become this big, like, I guess they call them gurus now, but I would become this big name and be like, Yoda for everybody. I had this big fantasy of grandeur for myself that I thought I would achieve one day, and I built this up over years and years and years. I'd watch Star Wars and be like, yeah, I want to be like Obi-Wan. I want to be like Yoda. I want to be like Gandalf. I always wanted to be like the wise mentor that helps the hero through the journey and gets them to the end point. And when I got to college, I felt really like let down because I thought that I would be able to choose from anything and just kind of go explore and figure out what I wanted to do. But when I got there, I felt really confined to just math, physics, video. Like it felt really dull to me in a way. But I went ahead and tried a bunch of different things anyway. I actually ended up bouncing around to 8 different majors while I was in college, if I can remember them. Chemistry was one, astronomy, videography, graphic design, art at one point. I went back to chemistry a second time. Um, don't remember the other 2 or 3. And then I ended off on video game designing. And when I got into there, this was sort of where I really figured out that like I actually want to have a business and not go get a job after this. But I was in this video game design school or in this program, which doesn't exist anymore, by the way. But I got to this point where there were like three different tracks that you can basically, you're kind of at a fork in the road once you hit this point in video game design school. And they say that you can either become a coder, and you're basically going to be designing engines and systems and things that people tell you what they want, and you figure out how to do it. So you're kind of like a professional problem solver. Or you can be an artist, right? And then another way, you can do what people tell you to do. Or you can be the designer, which essentially means that you design and you create the video game. And that to me was like the most interesting to me. But then they told me, oh, if you want to be a video game designer, you don't go to school for that. You just go do it. So I got to a point in school where I was like, why the fuck am I still going to school? Like the thing, every single time I've gone down a major, I get to a point where I'm like, this doesn't end with me being in control of my destiny. This doesn't end with me having my own thing, which I eventually realized was called a business. So I got involved in business. I jumped around to a few more different things, marketing. I did coaching for a while for digital entrepreneurs, which I sort of do now, but it's different. And then I went back to marketing, and then I was doing like websites and some design work for a while, and then some tech stuff, and then building funnels for people. And then I was a project manager. And so I just like jumped around a lot. And so I'm sharing a lot of this because you might be doing something similar. You might be jumping around from thing to thing. You might be like, I don't know, I kind of like this, but I also kind of like this. Maybe you like fitness, but you also kind of like the mindset that goes into fitness, but you also like eating healthy, and then you got into like the biology and the microbiome for a little while, and then you went down this whole rabbit hole with like clean water and all that stuff, right? So you can be multi interested and still have a passion. Okay, so here's the deal: just because you're bouncing around from thing to thing does not mean number one that any of those things weren't your passion, and it also does not mean that you will not be able to find your passion. Just because it seems unfindable, or just because it seems like every time you start something and it's super interesting and then you lose interest down the road, that does not mean that that wasn't your passion. It meant that the way that that thing was being integrated did not make you passionate. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Um, yeah, if you like doing something and then at some point down the road, I found this to be true with pretty much everything I did. With science, with videography, with graphic design, pretty much everything. I would get to a certain point down the road and I'd be like, okay, I know enough about this to like kind of do something with it. But the next step is just learning more that I may or may not use and that somebody's going to tell me how to use later. And so I got to a point where I was just like I'm doing a lot of work here to take directions from other people, which I technically be fine with. But I'm just, my brain is way too creative. I can't sit in a setting where I'm following directions for a really long time and I can't do anything creative. Like my brain actually starts to, I think, implode on itself. I have to do something with it. So um, if you are like me, consider that all of these different things that you're trying might be trying to lead you somewhere. Consider that, maybe even if they seem unrelated, maybe they're not so unrelated. Maybe those things are trying to tell you something. Maybe there's a common denominator. And what I would suggest for you to do, if this is you, if you're thinking about many different things and you're not sure what you're passionate about, write down all of those things. Get out a real sheet of paper, get out a real pen or a real pencil, I don't care. Write down all of those things. And then for each one, ask yourself, why do I like this? So you're pretty much writing a list of all the things that you like, and then a list next to it of all the things that you like about those things, right? Why do I like fitness? Why do I like my health? Why do I like, getting into little granular details like our microbiome and stuff like that. Ask yourself these questions like, why are you interested in the things you're interested in? And then once you have this list of whys, you have a much more powerful list than the list of whats. And look at the list of whys, and you'll start to maybe notice some commonalities on that list. If you don't, I'd love for you to jump up on my live and just ask me about it because I'm leaving a link. I'm leaving a link in these lives somewhere in the description, hopefully, wherever you are, where you can join and you can ask me. So please do that. If you're looking at your whys and you notice a common denominator, like, hey, I really seem to like things that have to do with personal transformation. That's like one of mine. I really like personally things that have to do with transformational experiences. I like creating experiences for people. I think it's really fun watching other people go through fun and creative and transformational experiences. I like watching people grow. It's awesome. Maybe you like watching people, break through their fears or something like that. Maybe you like watching them get ripped. Maybe you like watching people transform on a health journey, like go from like literally looking like they're about to die to becoming the healthiest they've ever been in their life. Maybe you want to be that person for people, right? And so look at the whys behind what you like to do and what you've liked to do for a long time, not just what you picked up yesterday that may phase out. Um, look at things that have sort of stood the test of time first. And once you have all your whys, hopefully you see a common denominator. If you don't, keep working on the list. There is probably one. I personally am a believer that every person has a passion. And for some of us, it's just a little bit more abstract. For some of us, it's a little bit less obvious, a little bit more indirect. Like you might have to take a winding path to get there. It's not always straightforward for everybody. Some people wake up like my dad, like knew that he loved music since he was a kid. Fucking lucky. Love that for him. Not everybody gets that, right? Even my mom too. She loved dogs since she was a little kid. They could not fathom like why I could not figure out something that I wanted to do with my life. And it makes sense because when it's easy for you, it's like why are other people having so much trouble finding their passion? It's so simple. It's just it's just dogs or entertainment systems or therapy or a health program. Like for some people, it's really simple, and that's amazing. But for some people, it's not, and that does not mean that something's wrong with you. It does not mean that you are never going to find it. It doesn't mean that passion doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that you have no purpose. It doesn't mean that it's a waste of time to find your passion, all this bullshit like people are putting out there. Like, don't waste your time finding your passion. Just start a business that'll make money. Shut up. Shut up, bro. No, find your passion. It's worth it. It's worth the journey. It's worth the time. I even created an app that helps you find it. So if you're really lost, just like let me know. It's on the screen, so you can go to that. Right now I'm doing a beta. So if you want to skip there's a cool welcome sequence that like if you go to the link on the screen, it'll take you through that. But right now I am doing a beta. So if you want to skip the welcome sequence and you want to just jump straight into the app and play around, just add an AI dot in front of the domain. So it'd be AI dot thenexussalon.com. If you do ai.thenexussalon.com, you can create an account in there, join the beta. It's free, 100% free, except for like some paid tools later on. If you want to go that far, but you do not have to go that far, you can do the whole passion finding part for free. And then there's coaching attached to the higher level. So, it's actually a really great thing for you to do if you want to keep going. But the app is free, and you'll be able to go through the whole passion finding journey. It's going to facilitate asking what you're interested in, what you value, what you're good at, why you're good at them, why you like those things, and it'll use AI to help you gain insights into those things. So you'll get some assistance in finding the commonalities and the common denominators in your likes. So I made that for people because that's what I want to do. I want to help people find their passion. I want to help people build the life that they want, create a whole business or a whole project or a whole whatever you want out of your passion, because I believe it can be done for everybody. And I think all this nonsense about become passionate about making money, or just do something and then figure it out later, or it's not worth it to find your passion. I think all of that is fucking bullshit. So yeah. And I found it to be true through actually doing it, through doing it myself, through working with clients. I've had plenty of clients find their passion who thought they couldn't find it. So I've seen it happen. Obviously, I can't prove that it can happen for everybody, but I believe it can. So, all right, how long have we been on here? How long should these go? Is this interesting? Let me know. Let me go through another scenario here real quick, and then we'll jump off. So let me get some water. When you don't talk that often, because you're not a very talkative person, your mouth gets really dry when you start talking a lot suddenly. Okay, so let's take Casey here for example. Um, Casey is 29, works a job she doesn't necessarily hate, but she knows she doesn't want to do it forever. Okay, she loves fitness, has always been fascinated by psychology and personal growth. Recently started getting into cooking and nutrition, but she wants to build a business around something she actually cares about. But every time she starts moving towards one idea, another one feels more exciting. Last month, she decided she should become a fitness coach. Then she thought, but business isn't really the deepest thing I care about. Maybe I'm supposed to help people with confidence, right? Because you can start working in something. Maybe you start doing the fitness coaching, you gain a couple clients, or you just start doing it for free for a few people just to try it out. And then you're like working with people. This will happen a lot. And you'll realize that they'll run into a different block, and it won't be some kind of physical block that you were working on with them, right? Like you'll tell them, do this at home twice a week in between our sessions, or I don't know, something like that. I don't know if fitness coaches do. But you'll tell them to do something, and it might be challenging for them. And then you'll realize that they're having a mindset block, not a physical block around this. Right. And so you might go, maybe the real thing I should be helping people with is the mindset. So later on, Casey starts thinking about a different kind of business. Maybe she's going to start helping people with confidence now. And then she starts helping people more with confidence, right? Let's say she switches her business completely. She drops the fitness coaching entirely, starts promoting her mindset fitness coaching. All right. So she's still going to be a coach, but she's going to focus on the mindset and then give people habits that they're going to do on their own instead of being the actual fitness coach. Right. Makes sense. So this way, Casey thinks, I'm going to get way more results this way. People are going to do my stuff because I'll be working through the mindset stuff with them, and they'll do it on their own. It'll be so much easier for me. I won't even have to do it. And she starts doing it for a while, and she realizes this mindset stuff is kind of hard to coach. And then she realizes, I can get some transformation out of these people. If I really work at this, I can be good at this, and I can get this transformation. But what I'm really noticing is that people are having a hard time showing up because their nutrition, they're not at their best. They're not feeling physically their best. It's their gut, it's how they're feeling. If they felt better, they'd be able to get the mindset stuff because it wouldn't be as hard. Right. And so that makes sense to her. And so she switches again. She's now got a nutrition business. I'm going to get it at the root, right? If I get people's nutrition, then they'll be more receptive to the mindset stuff, and then they'll be able to work out. Right. And then she switches again. And so this pattern, it goes on and on and on. It just keeps going. It actually ends up probably looping at some point, or it'll kind of weave around in like a figure eight or something weird like that. And what Casey is messing up here is number one, she's allowing herself to switch too quickly, right? But number two, she's not focusing enough on the clarity piece. She's not clear on why she's building the business in the first place. And if she was clear on why she's building the business in the first place, it would probably last. And so, what Casey needs to do is kind of exactly what I was saying to do earlier. List out what you like to do. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I like fitness. I like eating healthy. I like cooking. I like health. I like, um, um, consistency or whatever. So she lists out all the things that she likes to coach on, train on, mindset, personal blocks, dealing with fear, and so she's got it all on her piece of paper, and then she needs to list why. Why do I like helping people with personal blocks? Why do I like fitness? Why do I like cooking? Why do I like nutrition? And then you look for the commonalities in the whys. You look for the commonalities in the whys. The commonalities are going to lead you to what you are passionate about. That's it. I mean, you don't even need me at this point. Do you even need me? No, please let me know. Like, do you have questions about this? Is this helpful? Do you want to join the live and ask me questions? I will be available. I have not set my schedule yet for this. Right now, I'm in a position where like it's still kind of scary for me to jump on live, doing it anyway because I really want to help people with this. Um, and so please join if you have a question. I'm going to leave a link in the description for you. And every time I do this, I will make that available to you. So if you're on Facebook or YouTube, let me know if you want to join and ask me some questions. Let's see if anybody left a comment. Nope. We got to do a solo fly-in session today. Someone gave me a like. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, I'm going to call it here, but we're going to do more lives like these. I know I've said that in the past, and then there'll be like a couple weeks in between me doing a live. It's probably personal blocks, honestly. I'll find something that I really like to do. Like recently, I built an app, which is on the screen, and I totally 100% use that to not continue doing lives. It was a great excuse. It worked for a while. But now it's kind of, I'm kind of done building the basic bare bones of the app. So I can't use that excuse anymore. So here I am. Let me know if you have questions about turning your passion into a business. Let me know anything else you'd like to see on these lives, and feel free to join up in the future through the link in the description on the live. That's it for today. Go back and watch for the value. I explain how to turn your or how to find your passion. So it's a pretty good live. All right, I will see you later. Whenever I come on next. See ya.